All right.
Hey, everybody. Good day to you all today. Hope you guys had a beautiful, wonderful day. It was very relaxful, and I know it was on our end here.
Relaxful. You just made up a word.
Relaxing. It's late. We were going to do this earlier, but...
And we didn't.
And we didn't. Very relaxing. Relaxful. Yeah.
This is day 9 of
Day
100.
9.
We're almost 1/10 of the way there.
Whoop.
We want to talk about the nervous system tonight. Because this is a nervous system disorder, right?
So dysautonomics, right? Your autonomic nervous system. And so in our autonomics, we know that we have primarily, two main branches. All right, there's another one.
Right.
There's 3 technically, but we're more onto the whole sympathetic and parasympathetic side of things. Those are the ones that really kind of cause us to show symptoms and crazy things like that.
So the sympathetic being what a lot of us know as the fight flight response, and the parasympathetic being the rest and digest, and mainly innervated by the vagus nerve, that
Right.
wandering nerve.
Cranial nerve number 10.
So we wanted
Vagus.
to talk about the parasympathetic a bit more
Yes.
tonight, because that's primarily where most of our issues lie with dysautonomia.
Well, not. There's a bunch of other ones. However,
It's a big part of our issues.
It's a big part. It's a huge part. But the great thing about the parasympathetic and what we've learned about the parasympathetic is that it can heal. It heals the fastest. Of the nervous system. So like you have the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, and the parasympathetic will heal first, and the sympathetic will just slowly but surely make its way up and heal as well.
So if people have parasympathetic issues, what might they see?
Right. So a very common one is heartburn or constipation.
Because again, it's that rest digest is the summary of that parasympathetic. So the digestion part.
That's right. Another one is, I think, like immune function, right? So think autoimmune type disorders or autoimmune type diseases. So that's really awesome, really to think about, So whenever I got everything kind of back under control, I noticed immediately I had eczema my entire life. And it's always just super red, right? And like honestly, like in 2 months, no redness, right? It's still there, obviously, because over time it has to heal, and changes to DNA, etc., and expression have to take place. But the redness was gone, and so
So by correcting parasympathetic issues, that started to correct autoimmune issues.
That's right.
Because autoimmune is often an expression of parasympathetic.
That's correct. So really, really cool there. So, and then the other one which is huge, right? I had this so bad, like this fibromyalgia, this chronic pain, if you will, right? Just like I'd like touch myself and like, man, that really hurts right there, or that hurts over here, or all my hair follicles would just be like don't touch me, everything hurts, just crazy. So there's that chronic pain everywhere. That's related to the parasympathetic as well.
Yeah.
Some other things, sleep apnea, like snoring, etc. Right? Those
Are symptoms of parasympathetic imbalance?
of parasympathetic imbalance.
Okay.
Restless legs, right? Same deal. Where we get that a lot. Restless legs. And then for me, I remember this my whole entire life. Okay, I had just nausea in the morning. It's like my dad would wake up and like eggs and bacon and grits and lots of food, right? And he'd always like try and force food on me because he's like, hey, breakfast is the best meal of the day, breakfast of champions, right? Which is great. But however, it made me sick. You know what I mean? I wake up in the morning, I just have this like lump in my throat, right? That globus, and just like, man, I don't really.
So morning nausea.
Sorry. Anyways, morning nausea.
Morning nausea.
Hot flashes, okay, so from you ladies out there, or night sweats. Hot flashes can happen in men as well, I'm just saying. But traditionally it's in...
So again, we're naming off all these symptoms of parasympathetic imbalances. And
Right. And so, and we'll just name one more, and then we'll go into that. And then the other one that's really, really huge is non-restorative sleep. Okay, so that non-restorative sleep is associated with the parasympathetic as well. So that means, hey, I got 8 hours of sleep, I got 7 hours of sleep, whatever it is that's your norm, and I just still am exhausted all day, right? That's related to the parasympathetic, but hey, it's okay. Like you'll see as you heal, right? As we go through the dysautonomia recovery process, those are the first things that heal, which is really, really awesome. I remember whenever I was starting to heal, I couldn't, because I just couldn't see. I couldn't see past the day, and so it was really great that those types of things healed really quickly because it gave me more like momentum to build on. So yeah. Anyways, I'm sorry, Linz. I definitely cut you off there. I didn't mean
that's
to.
okay. That's okay.
I knew I'd lose my train of thought if I didn't kind of keep going with it. What were you wanting to...
We're good. So we've talked about parasympathetic nervous system imbalances, and the reason we were hitting on that is dysautonomia,
right.
The autonomic nervous system, made up of two main branches,
right?
The parasympathetic and sympathetic. And then today we were focusing on highlighting the parasympathetic issues.
Right, exactly. So we'll leave it for another time. I'll just not do it.
Well, that was day 9. Hit us up with more questions.
Yes.
We're just wanting to kind of slowly build a foundation of knowledge that will help all of us on a recovery journey, understanding just how we walk through this recovery process.
Yep, and just know, hey, all those symptoms I named, they will go quickly, right? Once you heal that nerve, reduce that inflammation, which we've been talking about, right, for the past 8 days, that we lower that inflammation. Those are the first things that's going to go. So know that if you see, all the other things I've mentioned kind of get better, that's what's happening. It's the parasympathetic branch that's healing. Sympathetic branch, it just takes longer, okay? And we can go into that maybe tomorrow. Talk a little bit what the sympathetic branch of the nervous system is actually related to, and what the symptoms are for that. So we can know.
Yeah.
So.
And I see a comment here about insomnia and fatigue, such a common thing with dysautonomia.
Yep. Again, parasympathetic. Absolutely. So.
And we'll continue to kind of hit more on topics as far as recovery specifically related to symptoms. But yes, we hear you and we see you.
Absolutely. All right.
Thanks for joining us tonight, y'all.
And share this, because I know this is going to be a big one. I've been on some of the chat groups and the support groups, and people just don't know where their symptoms are coming from. We have these 2 branches, and it's like this big maze, and the doctors don't tell us, or maybe they don't know. I don't know, but.
Well, and I think that's why so many people come to finally getting their diagnosis of dysautonomia after years and years of all these different symptoms. That vagus nerve that innervates the parasympathetic is known as the wandering nerve.
Right.
And it innervates so many things in the body. And so you can have such a wide variety of symptoms. Like we can have insomnia, and we can have fatigue, and then we can also have morning sickness and nausea and hot flashes. And how are all of these connected, and understanding that it's they're all part of this parasympathetic nervous system.
Right.
And that's really helpful to know. And then also just that the parasympathetic, which this is a really interesting key. I'm just going to throw this in
Hey,
here.
I love it.
That the parasympathetic nervous system regulates a lot of inflammation in the body. So you can do a lot of things to be anti-inflammatory, but if that vagus nerve is malfunctioning, like it is with dysautonomia, no matter what kind of anti-inflammatory protocols you're doing, the dial on inflammation is broken.
Which is the vagus nerve? The dial.
And so until we can kind of correct the vagus nerve and we can correct the parasympathetic, a lot of times we'll continue to have inflammatory issues building and building and building, no matter what kind of anti-inflammatory protocols we're employing. Right. So that's kind of a little secret tip we just stuck in there.
Ooh, that is, and that's a huge one too. And we'll devote like a whole day.
Once we understood that, that really unlocked a lot of things for Tyler in his recovery.
Absolutely, yeah. So don't worry, we'll go into more and more detail on that. But for now, we're just taking on like the very common basic things to understand. So if this brought up a lot of light bulbs and like brought in a lot of questions, please shoot them our way.
Message them our way. We'll be back tomorrow night with day 10 of 100. Check out our Facebook group as well. We have a support group that we are building a community there to share information and just build support as well, because this is sometimes a lonely road, and we want to make it less lonely.
Absolutely.
All right.
See you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.